more evasive when those CV computers are trying to determine whether or not they're looking at an armor plate or, as we saw in NYU's case earlier, a banner.
Yep. Referee system initializing. Oh my word. Look at the crazy spinning sentry from the University of Texas. All right, UT with that classic opener. Kinda. We'll call it a variation where the hero rams into a wall and takes half damage. But the standard for UT, able to go get ammo and is driving underneath the power limit, even though their hero's having some struggles. Penn State University following likewise, but a little bit behind, which is going to give UT the early advantage, getting some damage down onto the sentry of PSU.
Especially considering that sentry is not spinning for PSU. It's going to be a bit easier of a target, as we can now see the cockpit of the standard for UT.
And you'll note on the bottom right hand, there are two separate barrel heat indicators, and they're moving up together. That's because this Texas standard is double barreled. So not switch barreled like we were talking about so much with the Texas A&M standard. This is a Texas UT standard, and it is firing two barrels at once, but was successful in taking out the sentry. Good job, UT.
UT in a pretty definitive lead, with PSU's standard not really being able to get into the repair zone. Was able to buy projectiles, meaning the RFID card does indeed work, but a matter of being able to move without damaging their robot might be yet to be seen.
Aced.
We'll go UT, also able to take down the last remaining robot for Penn State, and now moving on to the base. It's going to be a pretty quick round, making up for lost time here. That standard's still only level 2, but only firing from one barrel now, looks like. Which is a clever way to use your barrel heat. You can juggle it back and forth, just like a team would using swapping barrels. Damage is not coming across onto the base. There goes one. This is very odd. The projectiles might not be hitting hard enough, but they're going at 15 meters per second, so that should be enough force.
Well, there definitely is enough force on other armor panels, because they just went and knocked out that PSU standard.
Yep. There we go. That other side armor panel might be having some trouble, but we probably won't have to remake the match or anything, because UT is still going to win this match.
Yes.
Penn State no longer moving.
It's going to take a miracle to save PSU, as their standard is still not able to move away from that resupply zone.
I think it would take a... I don't know what kind of miracle. I mean, maybe everything just fixed on the robot when it woke up and it got 2 levels. It would take something big.
It would indeed.
Be one heck of a miracle. You can see the right barrel of UT falling much shorter than the left, causing a lot of accuracy issues, and that's one of the things that we've been talking about a lot with teams like UC, also running double barrels and has a similar accuracy issue, but theirs is more left-right.
It kind of just goes to show you the difference in design of the switching barrels versus the double barrels. Both are equally nice.
University of Texas going back and reloading.
I think Dom's camera still has the lens on it as he's trying to record.
The hero from the University of Texas still having some struggles. They've pretty much just stopped trying to use it. And now they're attacking that other armor panel without any issues, so I'm not sure what was happening earlier in this match, but problem seems to be rectified now.
Well, at least for the referee's sanity, I'm sure that they're not going to have to stress too much, considering it is working now. So it could have probably just been more of a registration side on UT's part for not shooting hard enough.
Yeah, some of the questions in chat about the fully autonomous sentry. Tune in tomorrow. Once we get into our double elimination, you'll see some of those sentries that are actually really good about driving autonomously and firing autonomously. Our final matches tonight are between teams that are newer to the competition, and their autonomous robots probably not going to do very much actual firing and driving during the rounds.
But at least being able to spin is a pretty good deterrent for, in the future, being able to not take as much damage as they could if it were just standing stationary.
UT trying to find an angle where both projectiles are hitting. They're close,
Looks like UT is going to get the win from base destruction. A little bit of a difficult loss for PSU as their robot was not really able to be functional the entirety of the round.
Jerzaya asking if there's going to be a schedule for tomorrow posted. Yeah, that's what we're saying about accuracy. It gives you a nice little look here. That's about the same accuracy as the University of Washington. Round 2, between the University of Texas and Penn State University. Someone asking if the regulations and builds change year over year. A little bit. We'll talk about it at the end of this match. That's a really good question. Uh-oh. Oh, there's Penn State's University's robot. It's just hiding. Pieces flying as the University of Texas slams into its autonomous robot and then proceeds to take a lot of damage from driving quickly. That hero having a tough time being controlled. Matt, I've said it once, I'll say it again. If teams are having power issues while driving, they should use the remote for driving and the mouse for firing.
Yeah, that joystick needing to be analog instead of digital, meaning that you can actually make it slower or faster depending on how much you move the joystick.
Now, this was something interesting you just saw. Two barrels has a lot of advantages, but one of the disadvantages is if a single barrel overheats, you have a blurry screen, so it's not like you can use the other barrel.
And not to mention, if a single barrel is not working correctly, like you can see that they are shooting at about half of the velocity on that right-hand barrel. As you can see, Blaster 1 is the velocity for the left barrel, Blaster 2 is the velocity for the right. And you can see that is like essentially half the value.
PSU's Sentry has disconnected from the Wi-Fi, which is why that shield has fallen off of the base, and now the level 3 at 3 minutes and 41 seconds, very fast from UT Stampede, able to start shelling down on the PSU base. It's going to be another match. They're just going to call it. Looks like
red team forfeited.
Yep.
Meaning that is going to be a win for UT Stampede.
That makes sense. That was going to be a pretty clear match.